in our society, there is become more and more of a push to be as inoffensive as possible, where we're so concerned about making somebody else upset that we just silence ourselves. We're not spreading the gospel, we're not sharing the truth. We just say that, oh, you're a Muslim, well, that's okay, you know, you're an atheist, that's good for you, you know, whatever works for you. Like, but we're so afraid of offending people, and we're so cautious about saying anything to anyone that we're just letting them walk straight into hell. We're just smiling and saying, that's good, you're doing good, as they walk straight into eternal judgment and destruction. And we're okay with that, for some reason. The people, they're blind. They don't a lot of times realize that there is truth and there is hope. A lot of people, they're born into this. They're born as Muslims or Hindus, and they're raised that way. They're raised believing that that's correct, and as they grow up, they just copy what they see their parents doing. They don't know that there's one true God who loves them and cares about them and who died for them. And how are they ever gonna know if you don't go and tell them? Haven't you seen the crime rates? The amount of people who are giving up their own lives, who are lost? They're searching. They're crying out for hope. Who's gonna spread this news to them if we don't? If we as the church just look away and let them be whoever they want to be just for the sake of tolerance and being as inoffensive as possible, their blood is on our hands. We're supposed to be the watchmen. That means we're supposed to warn the people. We're supposed to spread this truth to them. We're called to go and make disciples of all nations. How can we let people chase after idols when we know that there is something better for them? How are we letting them live their lives in suffering and pain and hopelessness as we're sitting here with the truth? What are we doing with it? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Jesus is the only salvation. He's the only way. He's the only hope. There is nothing else. All these false religions, they're death. They're from the devil. All they do is destroy. And we're letting it happen. We're just sitting here in our pews, smiling and nodding as we let it happen. What are we doing with this truth? Why aren't we warning them? sometimes the truth will offend people. But at least you're speaking the truth. At least you're letting them know. Even if they don't accept it right in that moment, you could be planting a seed. You could be doing something instead of doing nothing and staying silent. Because if we stay silent and we just bend the knee, who's going to help them? Everybody has a right to choose, and we should respect their right to choose, but we also have the right to say something about it. We have the right to not agree with them. So many Christians, even nowadays, are just saying that, oh yes, I respect your religion, you're good, just whatever works for you. But we shouldn't be putting ourselves into agreement with that. We shouldn't be letting them stay that way. We should love them enough to tell them the truth. This 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14 through 16 says, "Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? What harmony is there between Christ and Baal? Or what does a believer have in common with an unbeliever? What agreement is there between the temple of God and idols? For we are the temple of the living God. As God has said, I will live with them and walk among them, and I will be their God, and they will be my people."
Amen.
Don't put yourself in agreement with them. Don't tell them that whatever they choose is the right choice. Because the living God loves them just as much as he loves you. And how can you turn your back on them like that? Just let them walk right into hell because you're too scared of offending them to say anything.